Hey guys, welcome to Sim UK and Flight Sim World. Unbelievably, I've been flying in the wrong direction for a lot of the last episode, so I need to take a harsh right here. Now, north is this way, right? So there's no way I should be flying north. North, west, northwest. Wouldn't you agree? About 31-degree radial, so let's get on and get this aircraft flying towards the right island. That would be the wrong island over there. Ah, God. This would be the right island over here. So I can't turn my head because the door's open. And obviously my daughter and my wife are having a little scrap in the background. And I can't turn my head. What? There we go. Best we can do. So that's where I thought we were heading. Oh God. Apologies guys, nothing I can do about this. That's where I thought we were heading. And this is where we should be heading. So slight detour in the last episode, apologies for that. Let's crack on, get to this airport, and then we will be heading over here for the next. So here we are, the tiny island of Graciosa, most likely very pretty. The airport is on the northern side of the island, so we're going to swing round, line ourselves up and try and get it right this time. Although I do wonder how the hell we're at 2,500 feet. When did that happen? Honestly, it doesn't seem to matter what I do with this aircraft, it won't trim properly. Constantly trimming. Maybe that's normal, maybe it's not, I don't know. As it is, I want to get down to about 1,000 feet before we come into land this time, so now seems like a good a time as any to do that. Keeping ourselves within our speed limit boundaries, so I'm not too worried. But as you can see, we're not dropping. We are not dropping at all. Oh, maybe it's very... Maybe I'm applying very sensitive controls just by placing my hand on the stick. Because I've just taken my hand off and we've started dropping again, so... That could be all it is, actually. That could be what the problem has been. Whilst I'm adjusting trim, I tend to have my hand on the controller, and then when I feel like I've got it trimmed, I then take my hand off, and we get this constant fluctuation issue. I think I can see the airport over there. Try and get ourselves down to 1,000 feet before I come in for the final approach. Let's drop those RPMs ever so slightly. Now I think I've left the left the carb heat on by accident, so we'll turn that off and try and do this one as close to perfect as I possibly can. You can see the glide slope now. It's too far away for it to be in any way useful. Also, we're on the wrong radial trajectory, so not time for us yet. But we're dropping about quite a bit. 500 feet a minute at least, I'd say. Start heading over that way. Let's try ATC. I think see, that's asking me to tune to LAPL. Here we go. Graciosa. Yeah, we don't want to land. Just like to have some radio chatter, but I don't know. I don't know how you turn the radio on in this thing. I don't even know if it's got a radio. Okay, coming down to about 1,000 feet. Looks like we're a bit high. Still got some time to adjust. So let's get richer, fully rich. We'll get the carb heat on. And I think we'll slow ourselves down. Around about 2200 RPM, I think. Just making this up as I go along because there are no checklists involved for this aircraft in Flight Sim World. So it looks like we're on the glide slope, which is good. That'll be the first time. Let's adjust our trim now. Definitely coming in too fast. Way too fast. Right, let's adjust ourselves and get on this glide slope. I think our attitude is wrong again. No, see, too high, too fast. I mean, we're a tiny little aircraft, so we can get away with this, but excuse me. It should be like this. Too low now, too low now. But we're also still too fast. I have so much to learn. There's a fine art to this that I don't possess whatsoever. Right, I'm gonna get the flaps up now. Try and keep speed above 50. Oh god, we just dropped out the sky. So, the worst landing of all of them, but the softest. Let's power up and get ourselves back out of here. Banking hard left. Flaps up. There's our next target. Something's gone into the log as well. I'm not sure what that is. Let's just try and trim this aircraft out a bit. Still climbing, that's good. Maybe we'll stick to about 1,000 feet and see if we just... maybe I can land it like that. Ease off, power. Okay, so I think we're about trimmed. Again, RPM's too high, which means I'm going to have to trim again. Okay, we're about right. Let me just check where this next Graciosa, that's where we are. We're heading down here to... Whoa, what the flipping hell? Why are we adding to... How do you get rid of one? Look at this. Crap. Go away. Right, what's this one? Graciosa. So we just want to get rid of this. There we go. Everything's back together again. Okay, good. So we're heading to Sao Jorge, and this should be just a straight flight, easy land, take off. So he says. Let's see what this log has to say. Oh, look at this. Flight hours logged, 4 hours and 12 minutes. I don't know what that means. Let's get rid of that. Get the sails back on track. So easy to just veer off track when you don't have autopilot. You know, when you're concentrating on ATC. What are you still doing up there? Oh man, this thing is so laggy. Ah, runway 31. Or are we going to be runway 13? 13, I think. Why can I not get rid of you? I assume we're going to come in on 31. That makes most sense to me. But it's just so weird that I can't close that. Ah, there we go. And now there's nothing in it. Clearly this game has some bugs. So now I have ATC, but I have no ATC. Interesting. Not sure what's going on there, if I'm being totally honest with you. It's a bit interesting that I can't see the airport even now. I thought maybe it would pop into view a bit before we reach this point, but no, apparently not. So there must be quite a big hill or cliff there that I'm going to have to clear before coming in. So it's probably a good idea if I have some idea. Ah, it's off to my left, look. Quite heavily off to my left. But I suppose... Oh, okay, that's the angle there, right. So we could come in this way and go out that way. I think that makes sense. Okay, we're alright. I'm happy. Happy as I'm going to be, I guess. Got to say, guys, I'm a little bit concerned about the height of this hill. I'm sure we can clear it at 1500 feet, but it's that perspective thing again, isn't it? It looks like I'm flying straight into it at the moment, but I think I'll clear it. It's just not knowing how high it is not a good place to be. Plus, I'm completely blind as to where the airport is on the other side. So, yeah. This could be an interesting one. I just realised I left the flipping carb heat on again. Be nice to have some checklists. Okay, so now I'm a bit closer. I can see that they're trees and not bushes, which is, I think, what I thought they were. Right. Let's get down to 2100 RPM. Keep our eyes open for the runway, which is supposedly just the other side of here. Pretty high though, this hill, isn't it? It's probably a smidge under 1,000 feet. Where is the runway? If the runway is on top of this mountain, I have got a serious problem. I see it. It's a long way off. I'm going to try and get myself trimmed at about 70 mph way before we reach there. Is it 1800 RPM I should be coming in at? Just suddenly popped into my head from the tutorial. I think it was about 1800 RPM. For some reason I thought it was 2100, and I've been trying to come in at 2100 on every runway so far, so maybe that's the problem, or part of the problem. Oh, and we've just lost sight of the runway. That's not good. But we're on the correct trajectory. We're on 13 radial. I'm just going to swing out right ever so slightly in an attempt to regain sight of it, really. There it is. Okay, I got it. So our speed is okay, our trim's a little off. Now we shouldn't be climbing at this point. We should definitely be dropping. But we're not. So we're way too high again. Just not dropping. Still climbing. So we can climb at 50 RPM, can't we? I do not know what I'm doing with this aircraft at all. I need to go back and do the landing tutorial all over again. Now we're going to come in super fast here. I'm going to put the flaps down, slow us down, try and get myself comfortable here. 50 RPM is just not safe. I'm sure we're supposed to be doing 18 RPM, maybe 15 RPM. Let's try coming in at 15 RPM and see what happens. See if I can get back down on this glide slope. Speed is okay, we're just not dropping fast enough. And I know that's my fault. I just can't quite master the skill of how to trim, basically. Okay. So we don't want to drop out the sky like we did last time. Keep the RPMs up to 1500. A terrible landing. Another one to add to the collection. Again, we're going a bit too slow. I think that's better. At the very least, I want a clean landing here. That is very gentle. No, flipping bouncing again. Alrighty. Take off. Bank right and try again. I think that could have ripped the tail off. I mean, we were so gentle coming in, but my attitude is just, it's not right. My attitude is all wrong, which is a major pain in the arse. Flaps up. And jokingly back in control of the aircraft. Weirdly, I can't get my head tracking back. My head tracking is pulling me off. Weird. Oh, that's why. I was in the wrong view. Okay. Terrible pilot. Absolutely god-awful. Nobody would be giving me a license with these kind of skills. But, you know, that's kind of why I'm here in this sim, to learn. Now, let's get a quick look, find out where our next airport is. Very much on the right-hand tip of this island, Sao Jorge. Or Sao. Whoa. Sao Jorge. So let's swing over this way. Get our trim just down a little bit. I think I can see the runway already. This one shouldn't take too long. Oh, flying way too fast there. I'm going to be doing about 70 RPM on the approach. That's what I need to be doing. Finding it incredibly difficult to trim the aircraft to 70 RPM, 70 miles per hour. It doesn't help that I can't decide on what RPMs I should be flying in at. That definitely isn't helping, but I'm going to say about 18. We're going to try 18 this time. Right, around about 70. I'm not quite trimmed out properly though. So our speed is good, our altitude is okay. According to the glide slope, we're way too low. This is a lot trickier than some YouTubers make it look. There's something that I should know that I just don't. And that's the problem. It's not that I don't know it, it's that I don't know what it is I don't know. That's the issue here. So we're lined up perfectly, absolutely spot on. I mean, we're exactly where we need to be. We just need to get on the glide slope now and start slowly dropping down. Try and engage with the glide slope and then stay on it for the first time. Right, so mixture, fully lean. This is still on. Oh, you just click it. That's interesting. Whee! Stay on flipping line, will you? So we should be good for the first set of flaps. We're on the glide slope now. Feel like we're not trimmed properly again. Tell me that's not another aircraft. I feel like the RPMs have just gone up as well. That's weird. It's very sensitive. Right, we're on the glide slope. Ish. Bit high. We're coming back onto it. We're okay. Still too high. We are finally dropping. We're at 60 miles per hour, increasing. 65 I'm happy with. 65 is actually perfect for me. One notch of flaps are up. We're too high on the glide slope. Drop the power down slightly. Try and lose some height without gaining some speed. Still way too high. I think based on this performance, I'm really going to struggle with the exam. Really going to struggle with it. Plus I've no idea what to expect from it either, so... And there's always the chance of Flight Sim World bugs. Let's drop our RPM again a bit. Tad more. Still not hitting that glide slope. I mean, we're only a small aircraft, so it's not a big deal, but... I just want to be able to get it right once, you know? Doing better in terms of speed management. It's quite a short runway this as well, isn't it? Another thing that gets me is I feel like I'm coming in way too fast here. That's the best one of the lot. I think you'll agree. Carb heat off. Full throttle. And away we go. Bit of crosswind coming in. I don't want to climb too high because we've got another one coming in. Let's just take a quick look at that landing. Looks to be relatively controlled, doesn't it? I think it's the numbers I'm lacking. There's that bounce again. But definitely that's the smoothest. Is that back wheel even down? Oh, it is. It just didn't look like it was. Okay. Well, that doesn't sound healthy. Now, the next airport is literally just there, I think. Smack dab bang in front of us. So let's trim for our new speed. Head on over there. We're at 1,000 feet, that's perfectly fine. Flaps. Every single time. Making life so much more difficult for myself by just not remembering the basics. Drop that RPM off. Don't want to overstress the engine. Not now. Final airport in sight. That is not the time to break the plane or the engine. Okay, so we're just shy of 1,000 feet. And I just want to quickly double check where exactly there it is, just on the left. Perfect, we're lined up nicely for that. Over there somewhere-ish. So I think I know what it is. Excuse me. I think I know what the problem is. For some reason I get confused. Even though I know this, I forget it constantly. I think it might be something to do with the head injury that I sustained in my car crash. But when you trim to speed. Is that correct? Correct me or confirm that I am correct on that. For some reason, I constantly overrule that knowledge, which I believe to be true, with the fact that trimming is for the attitude of the aircraft, which is not correct. And I think it's that constant battle of wills that I'm fighting against, which is causing me to have such horrifically out of control aircraft landings, especially when you take into consideration that I leave the flaps down when they should be up, and a whole host of other stupid mistakes that I tend to make. So I can see the runway, and we've got no ATC, that's still broken. Flipping game. I think I might head over to X-Plane. Once I've got this LAPL license, I think I might head over to X-Plane and DCS World and just maybe come back to this later. I mean, the fact that this is a Simcade, confirmed to be a Simcade, I genuinely thought that the level of authenticity would come in time, but it turns out that they're not actually looking to implement anything too significantly realistic in Flight Sim World, and I was unaware of that until literally yesterday, I think. Okay, so now I want to adjust my speed quite quickly, in fact. Let's get the carb heat on. 800 feet, I'm going to try and hold that, but I want to be at 70. So we're going too fast at the moment. It's so tricky to get this right. I think there'll come a day when it will just click, and I'll get it in my head. But it hasn't happened yet, despite a lot of attempts to crack it. Okay, we're on the glide slope. I think we're almost trimmed out as we want to be. Okay, so that feels about right. Straight and level at 70. So I'm going to drop some flaps. And that should, in essence, drop our speed and allow us the possibility of coming in on the glide slope, which we're now way above, interestingly. So I need to adjust the trim because the speed is now wrong. So that's what I don't understand, is there's such a huge, as soon as I drop the flaps there, there's a huge alteration, an enormous alteration required to maintain speed and to retrim the aircraft. I mean, I'm having to trim that an awful lot, and it's just not doing anything. Maybe I added too much RPM. I don't know. But again, I mean, now look, massively high. I need to work on this a lot. But we're actually landing here, so as long as I get us down safely, I think. That counts as job done. Terrible landing, terrible approach, so much to learn. Not the best. Not the best. Well, I don't know. Tell me what you think, guys. I think each landing got slightly better than the previous landing. That should be us. We're off the runway. Go find somewhere nice to park. I'm surprised the log hasn't popped up. That's concerning me slightly. I'm pretty sure this is the last stop on our route, and if it doesn't count this as having been a successful landing, then things are pretty bad. I'm not sure if I was meant to leave that on the whole time, you know. I think I was probably meant to turn that off, so apologies for that awful bloody noise throughout the entire flight. So yeah, again, any confirmation of having completed? We're at our final destination. So why is it not showing completed? I think this is it for me on this game, guys. This is just driving me flipping nuts. This is the second time I've done it, and it just hasn't registered it at all. It's stupid that you can't move the map now. Ridiculous. I can't move the map now to see this. LPPD LPLA. So you're saying I didn't land there or there, but I completely did. I'm assuming a touch and go doesn't count or something along those lines. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Thankfully though, we logged up enough time to unlock the skills test, so despite all that stupidity, we'll we'll press on and we'll do the skills test next week, or when I've got enough momentum to get me past this. Thanks for watching, guys. Till next time, take care of yourselves. Goodbye for now.